Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Beyond Resilience Life. This is your host, Dr. Lydiana Garcia. On this special series, Resiliency during COVID-19, which is an unedited, shorter episode series about ways of building resiliency and skills to help you manage this whole pandemic stress and everything that it's bringing into your reality. In this episode, we're going to talk about how to go inwards and inner reflection to help us move forward. But before we go in, please remember that the recommendations said in this episode or in any of the episodes in the Beyond Resilience Life do not substitute therapy or medical advice. And that it's important for you to consult with your primary doctor if you want to apply any of the recommendations in any of these episodes. So now let's go in. So I wanted to do an episode because I feel like after talking about accepting what is and radical acceptance in the previous episodes on this series, then I started thinking, what could be a next good episode, because I have a lot in mind of what to share with you. But I thought something that is coming up in my life, with my friends, with my family members, is about an opportunity to go inwards, to kind of create some reflection of generating life, about how you're reacting to this. This is a great opportunity to reflect, to help us kind of build some resiliency skills and to regulate in order to then make good choices or choices that you like. So before we go more into talking about it, I want to invite you to kind of do a scanning of your body from your head to your toe. And as you do that, if you notice any area that has any tension, to try to imagine that it's melting away. It's like putting butter in a hot pan and you're seeing it melting away. That could be by just using your imagination. It could be by stretching and movement, whatever it is that you need to do to kind of imagine it all living your body. And the movement can be downward toward the ground and then towards the earth. And just keep on doing that and kind of imagine all of it just melting away or stretching, and kind of get yourself in a comfortable position to kind of listen to this episode. That could include stopping the audio right now and going and getting a special drink that feels cozy for you, maybe sitting or being in a room or in a place that promotes a sense of coziness or feeling comfortable, getting a blanket if that resonates with you. Whatever resonates with you, that'll be good as we go and talk about going inwards. Alrighty. So now let's just talk about that. What do I mean with going inwards and why I think this is an important topic to discuss? So first, what I want to say is this whole pandemic for many of us is pushing us to kind of stop our daily routines, whatever that was, whether it was working at a place, taking, if you have children, your kids to school, and whatever it was on your daily schedule. For many of us, it has invited us or being pushed on us to kind of slow down, stop what you were doing and change into a new normal ASAP. And for many of us without our consent, right? Because how many of us really wanted this? But it's being being placed on us. And that's why the radical acceptance, if you have not listened to that episode, I think it's so important as you start this whole series, start there. And just accepting what is, accepting the change, accepting all of that. But like I was saying, a lot of us are being pushed into a new normal. And we're all experiencing this together as a collective. And I think that in itself is very interesting because as a trauma therapist or psychologist that specializes in trauma, even though I have my own trauma history, because we all do, for many times and many occasions, the cases that I see, we don't necessarily share the trauma that they're bringing in, the specific trauma that we're working on. I might not have gone through that. And in many ways that can help because I'm not necessarily getting triggered. And at the same time, this time, we are all in this together. As I'm doing my own therapy sessions and all that, I'm also experiencing the impact of this whole pandemic and being in shelter in place, being physically isolating from others. As a mom, being in the group of parents that now are placed with a kid in their home while they're trying to continue working, being concerned with finances and all sorts of things. So I'm also in that same group as I'm also helping others in this moment. So it's a very new experience for me and for many therapists as we're all in this together. And at the same time, it can bring so much beauty because it puts most of us in the same kind of, experience. And I know there's differences in terms of financial capacity, not capacity, but of your socioeconomical status and many other things. But for the most part, it's making many of us, the majority of us, be in the same group of we're all in this physical isolation, or that's what we're supposed to be doing, kind of mode, and being in complete uncertainty of what's going to happen. How long we'll be in here, the truth about the illness and all that. And as we go into what I'm talking and going inwards, is giving us opportunity as well, if you want to take it. And this is an invitation. This is not like a complete recommendation. This is an invitation if you feel like this is something that could be helpful for you. But if you're listening to me and you're going like, nope, I don't want to go there, then follow your intuition. Don't do it. This is a good time also to tap more into what works for you, what resonates for you. And it could be just a moment, like at this moment as you're listening, this might not be the episode for you to listen, or it could be at another time. Or this could be a great opportunity if you continue listening to go inwards and reflect about how are you reacting to this whole situation and what are you doing? So let's start with how you're reacting. So like I mentioned, going inwards can just be just answering out loud, these different questions. How are you reacting to this whole thing? How is your body feeling when you think about the uncertainty? Are you going more into a go mode and feeling a very intense urgency to act, or to kind of like figure out ways of leaving or escaping? Or like, are you feeling like that urgency of acting, like getting energy and doing something to either problem solve, figure it out, take the money out of the bank, stop, whatever, all those kind of things? And are you also like feeling more like wanting to flee in it, like denying it, and all this kind of urgency of figuring it out, ways that you can get away from it and get, isolate more or whatever? These are all different ways that we react when we are encountered with a situation like this. And also finding ways of reflecting about different activities. Like, are you a type of person that you like to meditate, and how is that feeling right now in your life? Is it helpful? Do you feel much better right afterwards? Or it actually triggers your anxiety? And that same kind of reflection, you can have it with any activity that you do. When you're watching TV, can you go inwards and can you reflect, how does that feel for you? Does it make you feel more anxious? Does it make you feel less anxious? When you're watching the news, and when you're watching like TV shows, when you're just kind of like writing. And that is what I'm referring in terms of going inwards, is not only to reflect about how you're reacting about COVID-19, but also a great opportunity for you to be exploring different resources, different coping skills that you have used, and how does that make you feel? And something simple, it could be about checking in about your body temperature, your heartbeat, or even a simple question like, does this feel better? Like, I feel better. Do I feel the same? Do I feel worse? Something like that, that's simple, can help you. Another way that it could actually help you in terms of reflection is using a rating scale. A rating scale is doing like a rating from 0 to 10 on how distressed do you feel, 10 being the most. And then at the end, after you finish your practice, rating it again. And then kind of like keeping like an internal data if you want to write it down, if you're more of that type of person that you want to write those kind of things. So that way you can be noticing what helps you the most at these times and what doesn't. And if something that was helping you a lot is no longer helping you, then be aware of it and then keep on moving, keep on changing. Because I feel like that's what this whole moment is asking a lot of us is change is inevitable and is part of life, whether we want to accept it or not. So as I'm ending this shorter episode, and like I mentioned, this whole series is more like straightforward, I just want to like honor also all of you that are experiencing all the feelings and emotions of this sudden change. For those of you that are at home alone, that feel the physical isolation harder, especially if you're like more of an extrovert. For those of you that have aging parents that you cannot see them and you worry about them. For those of you that have any illnesses, autoimmune, asthma, any kind of illnesses that could put you more in risk. For all of you that have kids at home and you have to manage that. For any of you that have like a history of trauma in terms of poverty, and all of you that are being laid off, like I have you in my thoughts, and I feel this so heavy. That's part of being an empath, is seeing all the different perspectives. And I know that I started with how this opportunity to go inwards, and at the same time I want to acknowledge, the pain that this whole, quote unquote rebirth is bringing for many of you. And I'm here. You can reach out to me via my Instagram is the easiest way. I'm way more active at dr.Lydiana Garcia, Dr. Lydiana Garcia, than the Beyond Resilience Live, but either one, those handles in IG, either one, you can get a hold of me very easily. Another way that you can get a hold of me is at info@thebeyondresilience.com, that email. And I have you in my thoughts. I'm holding myself, and I'm also putting that holding you out there. And I hope we get through this together. We grow as a society together. Because at the end of the day, we're all in this together. Take care. Be safe. Bye.